Are you truly in control of your life? Or are you right now walking a path meticulously designed by unseen forces to keep you financially shackled? What if I told you that the daily struggles, the constant chase, the feeling of never getting ahead, isn't your fault alone? For centuries, whispers of ancient wisdom have warned of invisible prisons. Today, we don't just whisper, we unlock them. Welcome to Ancient Wisdom Unlocked. I am your guide on a journey to reclaim your power. This isn't mere speculation. Nobel laureates Abhijit Banerjee and Esther Duflo dedicated 15 years, a lifetime of research across 18 nations, to uncover why poverty persists. Their findings shocking. People aren't just poor by chance. They are ensnared in a series of devastating poverty traps. And the most sinister part, many of these traps are engineered. The first trap is insidious, disguised as pleasure as necessity. I call it the consumption abyss. You believe the poor save every penny right wrong. Often they are driven into a frenzy of spending far beyond their means. Imagine Mr. Park, a man in Indonesia, frail, unable to work, living in squalor. Yet his home filled with a TV, a DVD player, a mobile phone, luxuries starkly contrasting his hardship. This isn't unique to far-off lands. Look around you. In America, people risk eviction for a 62-inch TV. They'll eat ramen for 29 days to afford one lobster dinner. They'll buy anti-wrinkle cream while shivering because they can't pay the heating bill. Why? Because the architects of consumerism have perfected the art of exploiting your deepest psychological triggers. Think about it: every holiday, every minor celebration twisted into a shopping spree. A few scrolls on your phone and bam, you've ordered things you never needed. You thought you were saving on Singles Day or Prime Day, but your cart overflows with impulse buys. These manufacturers are masters of three dark arts. One, conjuring desire from thin air, that must-have gadget, that seasonal latte. Two, dividing society through what you own, your status defined by brands. Three, accelerating your consumption cycle until your wallet is empty. That once-in-a-lifetime vacation you put on credit. When you chase these manufactured trends, you're not just spending money, you're walking willingly into the jaws of poverty. Are you a victim of this invisible hand guiding your purchases? What's the most ridiculous thing marketing has convinced you to buy? Share it below. Let's expose these tactics. Next, a trap so seductive, it feels like freedom. In the 1990s, as productivity soared and the wealth gap in the U.S. widened, a chilling theory emerged from a U.S. National Security Advisor, Zbigniew Brzezinski, Tittytainment, a portmanteau of tits and entertainment. His hypothesis: to keep the marginalized 80% docile, feed them a constant stream of mindless, instant gratification entertainment. Pornography, addictive video games, reality TV, endless social media scrolls, a digital pacifier. Sound familiar? You're in the library trying to study, but that itch, that urge to grab your phone for just one game. Or you start work and suddenly an hour vanishes into a black hole of short videos. You didn't just lose time, you lost focus, the currency of this era. While the masses are glued to screens, the wealthy, the architects of these systems, are increasingly unplugging. Steve Jobs strictly limited his children's tech use. Game designers, many avoid the very games they create, like World of Warcraft. Silicon Valley execs, they often go dark digitally after work. Why? Because they, the puppet masters, know the rule of the drug dealer: never get high on your own supply. They understand the endgame of drowning in shallow pleasures, a slow, comfortable death of potential. Are you letting them win? We're about to uncover even deeper manipulations. If this resonates, if you feel that pull, ensure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. Ancient Wisdom Unlocked is here to arm you. The third trap is disguised as virtue, the hamster wheel of hustle. We're conditioned to believe that busy equals productive. Consider the young writer in a small Californian town, burning the midnight oil, churning out pages, yet his books gather dust. He cries out to a priest, "Why, after all my toil, is there no progress?" The priest doesn't answer directly. Instead, he asks, "What do you do in the morning?" "I write novels." "And in the afternoon, I write novels." "And the evening?" Exasperated, the young man replies, "I spend every waking moment aside from eating and sleeping, writing." The priest simply says, "Then when do you find time to think?" This is the rat race, running faster and faster, yet the cheese, your goals, remains tantalizingly out of reach. Effort without direction, busyness without impact. It's a cruel joke if mere busyness equated to wealth. The donkey turning the millstone would be the richest creature on earth. It's not the hours you clock. It's the depth of your thought that forges value. Li Shanglong, a teacher, saw his colleagues grinding away, teaching extra classes for a few thousand more a month. He chose a different path. He reduced his teaching hours. While they hustled, he read, watched films, reflected, wrote. When the education industry faced a downturn, many were lost. Li, he'd already pivoted, started his own company, authored best-selling books, earning millions. He was busy, but not mindlessly busy. He concluded, no matter how busy you are, carve out time to think. Is there a better way, a new direction? If you're constantly head down, buried in tasks, without looking up at the sky, you are digging your own pit of poverty. A mind too cluttered with trivialities, too lazy to engage in deep thought, will inevitably stagnate. The final and perhaps most insidious trap is the gilded cage of comfort, a lesson powerfully illustrated by the classic film The Shawshank Redemption. Think of Brooks, the prison librarian, who after 50 years of a simple, predictable routine, pushing a book cart, noting names, found a strange sense of purpose. This satisfaction became invisible shackles. When released, the outside world was terrifying. Bustling cars, towering skyscrapers, a modern reality too fast, too alien. A supermarket job became a nightmare. His slow, aged movements frustrated customers. He lived in constant anxiety, unable to sleep. After just 1 year of freedom, Brooks ended his life. His story embodies the Shawshank trap. Those accustomed to confinement to dependency find true freedom unbearable. There's a chilling line in the film. First you hate these walls, then you get used to them. Enough time passes, you get so you depend on them. This is the essence of the trap. We become comfortable in our routines, our safe jobs, our familiar skills, losing the ability to face change, to embrace challenges. These invisible prisons are everywhere. The stable job that has extinguished your ambition, the one skill you've relied on for so long, it has paralyzed your growth. A slight shift in the winds of fortune, and you find yourself defenseless. The wall that once offered security becomes the cage that confines you. An ancient sage once said, "Change and you flourish. Stagnate and you wither. Change and you live. Stagnate and you die." This isn't just philosophy. It's a survival manual for a volatile world. We must be vigilant. Step out of your comfort zone. Dare to learn. Dare to grow. Consider a simple yet profound experiment from Boston University. Participants were told to set an alarm for 6 a.m. Group 1 alarm on their desk, Group 2 alarm by their bed. The result, after 2 weeks, Group 1, who had to get out of their warm bed to silence the alarm, largely formed an early rising habit. Group 2, little change. That small act of overcoming initial discomfort broke their inertia. This mirrors the Shawshank trap. Sinking into comfort yields no growth. The change might be uncomfortable, but that single step out of the warm bed of your routine can redefine your entire trajectory. It's not always about willpower. Sometimes it's about cleverly engineering your environment to force that first crucial step. But external tweaks aren't enough. The great statesman Zheng Guofan warned, all maladies are born of laziness. Laziness is the ultimate dream killer. It's not lack of talent, opportunity, or connections that holds you back. It's the seductive whisper of inaction. Once laziness takes root, no one can save you. You become your own jailer in a larger self-imposed Shawshank. As the artist Xu Beihong said, laziness is an expensive luxury. When the bill comes due, you will undoubtedly be unable to pay. So how do we shatter these chains? Beyond conquering laziness, we must elevate our thinking. True visionaries see further, think deeper. They aren't rattled by temporary setbacks or blinded by fleeting success. They possess a panoramic perspective. As an old saying goes, when your vision expands, annoyances shrink. When your heart expands, paths widen. When your stature grows, problems disappear. This mental shift is paramount. It's about consciously rejecting a low-level mindset, petty grievances, short-sighted actions, envy of others' success. This is a lifelong forging, like sculpting a masterpiece. Accumulate knowledge, sharpen skills, cultivate wisdom, build character. As you dedicate yourself to this inner refinement, your world transforms. Opportunities previously invisible will crystallize. Your understanding will deepen. Your capacity for life will expand. Remember, poverty isn't a preordained destiny. It's often a state of mind, a result of ingrained thought patterns and habits. No one is born to be poor unless they choose to remain so. When you actively disengage from these traps, when you challenge the thinking that perpetuates them, you pave your own road to abundance and freedom. It might require effort like Group 1 in the Boston experiment. It might feel uncomfortable. But these small, consistent acts of defiance against your old self, every morning you conquer sloth, every evening you persist in learning, every challenge you overcome, are deposits into your future. Change begins in the mind. Success is born from action. As you start to reshape your thoughts, broaden your horizons, and act with intention, you embark on a sacred journey. If this ancient wisdom has resonated deep within your soul, like this video to signal your awakening. Subscribe to Ancient Wisdom Unlocked and hit that bell, because we are companions on this path of transformation. And now I ask you, which of these 4 traps do you see most clearly in your life, or perhaps in the world around you? Or have you identified another more subtle snare? Share your insights in the comments below. Let's unlock our collective wisdom, for in shared understanding we find strength. May you break free from every chain, visible and invisible. May you rise above the mundane and embrace a life of purpose, abundance, and true freedom. This is your birthright. Go forth and live brilliantly.